Monday Night Wars podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Monday Night Wars. It is the road to WrestleMania. Hold on, okay, so we got the X, that's a 10, and then there's the I, but it's in front of the V, and the V's a 5. 14! WrestleMania 14! I knew that. In fact, my notes actually have the numbers 14, but I did it for comedic effect. Anyways, I am Scott. With me, as always, is Joseph. Joseph, how you doing, man?
I'm good. This is good. Look, I'm going to let listeners know this will be a long one. This will be a long episode. We have, I believe, 6 weeks to cover on the road to WrestleMania. They do, predominantly, they will do an extended build to WrestleMania because it is the grandest stage of them all. So we have a very, very lengthy road right now. And it's a lot. It's a lot to go into. Thankfully, I don't have to do any Mach impressions, which may suck for you unless you hate my Mach impression. But it's really good for me because it means my voice won't be destroyed by the end of it, which I have discovered doing these road twos, having to do Mach back to back to back. By the end, I'm talking like this.
Yes, I've noticed. I don't care, but I've noticed. Yeah,
I sound like the guy in Independence Day. Well, I can't remember his name. Very famous Broadway stage actor, the one in Independence Day, the one who's like, I gotta call my mother.
Jeff Goldblum's dad.
Yes.
In the film.
Yeah. And it's not his dad. It's not his dad. That's the dude from Taxi.
Oh.
It's his friend. It's his friend. Jeff Goldblum's friend.
The other scientist person at the SETI.
Also, he's also in Mrs. Doubtfire. He's the one who helps Robin Williams get made up. I can't remember his name. It's actually going to bug me that I can't remember his name.
Well, we'll figure it out. Well, while you're talking, because we'll get into the flow here, and I will Google machine that for you because I know that's my job. Yes. Your job is to have the facts, the hard-hitting commentary, the analysis. My job is to Google machine stuff while you're talking and going, and then at the end of what you're talking about, going, I completely agree with that. That's such a great point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was dishing out the responsibilities there, trying to figure out what we had.
But before we start, I want to make a quick programming note. I want to apologize to our listeners because it has been brought to my attention that I blew out my microphone again.
Yes.
On Juventud Guerrera. It was sent to me by Patreon subscriber Mercs, who only listens for apparently Juventud Guerrera because that's the only commentary I get back from him is when I blow up my mic. I don't know how I blew up my mic because I've completely turned my head. I have cupped, for those of you not watching the YouTube, I've been turning my head. I've been cupping my hands around my mouth and yelling it in the other direction, and I still blew up my mic. That's the hard-hitting commentary our listeners have come to expect, and I am not going to stop, but we're going to try and fix this. I'm going to say it a little quieter. I think what I'm going to start doing is just so people know what I'm talking about, so there just isn't this long pause, is to just say Juventud Guerrera normally first and then yell it. So even though you get the pause, you still kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to be like, hello? Tap, 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 Hello,
so
I think we'll do that. We'll do that.
Speaking of, so you mentioned our Patreon. You mentioned our Patreon. We actually do have a new Patreon subscriber. I was supposed to mention this last episode. I'm mentioning it this episode. Charlie Vento.
Shameful.
So glad to have you, Charlie. So
thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. $2 a month gets you the as you said twice now, our hard-hitting commentary.
Well, one of our hard-hitting commentaries, and then someone else saying, I completely agree. Although I do scream a lot about stuff I don't like, to be fair.
Yes.
I do yeah.
When you have a commentary there, it's quite fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, though, for people who are listening to the free product and, maybe thinking about getting the Patreon, good time to start because we are actually getting to a point where pay-per-views, at least the WWF pay-per-views, are getting pretty good. We've had pretty banger pay-per-views that we're watching ahead, obviously, because we like to kind of know what we're getting into before we do the pod. But we had a good one, and then a dog shit one, and then a good one.
Yes.
But yeah, but the two bookends were fantastic. I said one of them is probably the best pay-per-view we have watched the entire pod, and we're going to talk about that.
And I do want to specify he means what we have watched for the pod, not of all time. So if you go, this is not the best pay-per-view of all time, we're not talking about that. We're talking about from what we've watched on the pod. It is coming up. It is going to be up in, I think, about 2 WWF pay-per-views is when we will talk about it. And it is fantastic. It is fantastic. It has a truly infamous match because it is more than famous. And then it's got just everything else top to bottom is so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's as you rightly noted, it's in the context of the Monday Night Wars, probably the best pay-per-view we've seen for Monday Night Wars. But I would go so far as to say it is one of the best pay-per-views of all time. So it's going to be exciting to talk about.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
I mean, there is some great matches in that. And then obviously, as you said, one of the greatest of them all, that anytime you're showing someone wrestling for the first time, you put this one on.
Yeah.
You know?
When they go,
I mean,
it's all
you specifically because you do.
Yes.
But also everyone.
Yes.
Everyone does.
It is one of my favorite.
As you mentioned, we got a lot.
Real quick, it's one of my favorite, wrestling's fake things. And then I go, okay, watch this match. So anyways, but you were about to rightfully direct us into the pod. So I'm going to let you take over.
Yeah, because we've got so many episodes to go through here. We do have a news item, which I think maybe we should hold because we've got so many topics here. Maybe save it for the Patreon. Give people some incentive to buy the Patreon and hear about our hard-hitting current news item. What do you think?
Are we doing the hotline thing? Are we doing the hotline thing where we're just going to ambiguously tease it?
$2 a month.
We're not going to tell you at all what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
But if you subscribe to the hotline.
This is a great idea. This is a great idea. Subscribe to the Patreon and find out what the hard-hitting news item is we're going to talk about. And then you're going to pay the $2 and you go, I don't care about this.
We should call the Patreon the hotline from now on.
Wow.
Which unfortunately,
I love it. Well, what do you think?
Unfortunately, unless you actually know what we're talking about, you wouldn't know we were talking about Patreon if we just kept saying hotline. So we can't necessarily do that. I'm fine with that. As we're talking,
I'm trying to think run of the show.
We got WrestleMania 14 is what we're going to talk about. WrestleMania 14 for the most part has a lot of very simple matches. Like there's some fun ones, some very fun ones. There's a lot of commentary on the back end of WrestleMania 14. The front end is pretty light. So I think that's fine. I think we could save it for that. We will just say the conversation that we're going to talk about is really when you put something out in the ether and it comes back to bite you in the ass, almost like it ricochets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, let me just say to that, I hope you can get into this pod. Let's get to it. We start with February 16th, 1998. We are at the Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas. Here is our card. Joseph will give you the blow-by-blow, and then we'll talk about it. We start with the Quebecois, or the Quebecers if you're not of the vernacular like I am, versus the Legion of Doom. That's a 6-minute 13-second match. Ken Shamrock versus Sniper. Wonder how that one's going to go. 5 minutes, 17 seconds. We've got the Headbangers versus the Rock and Roll Express for the NWA World Tag Team Championship, because we've got that invasion storyline going on here. That, Vince saw NWA and said, we can do that with the NWA. I don't feel like it's working as well. 4 minutes and 4 seconds. We've got Jeff Jarrett, also part of the NWA invasion storyline, versus Owen Hart. And that one's for the WWF European Championship. 5 minutes, 29 seconds. We've got Brian Christopher and Pirata Morgan. What? I don't know. Versus Taka Michinoku and Aguila for 5 minutes and 38 seconds. We've got Farouk and Steve Blackman for 1 minute and 33 seconds. And our main event is Mark Marrow and Goldust, or the artist formerly known as Goldust, as he is currently known, versus Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I want Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie to beat the hell out of him, Joseph. Tell me.
I muted myself like an idiot.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on there.
I blew out my mic doing Juventud Guerrera. Okay.
A likely story.
I will start with this. I think that this particular episode in general is a poor start to the road to WrestleMania. That's my opinion. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. We open the show with LOD, as you mentioned, facing the Quebecers, as us white Americans would say. Although I'm only half white, so whatever. A simple, high-brawling match sees the New Age Outlaws trap Hawk of LOD in a dumpster, making this a 2-on-1 match. Animal takes a chair to the Outlaws and Hawk gets freed, but meanwhile, LOD gets counted out of this match. I get the idea here, but the New Age Outlaws are feuding with Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. Let's just let them move on. They are going to play into this in like the next week. And then we're going to get a really weird thing with LOD over the next few weeks, but we'll kind of get into it. DX is apparently threatening a lawsuit against Stone Cold for stunning China last night at the pay-per-view. And we get a special vignette on China, by the way. This is the first time they really want to focus on her. And it has nothing to do with her great bowls. Anyways. What? Did you see?
What?
Did you see Danhausen being cold Steve Austin and just going, what? That was the greatest. Anyways, speaking of which, right before we were going to record this podcast, right before, Ron, who is a mutual friend of ours, we play video games with him, but he also listens to the pod, asked if we were going to do a 1-hour Danhausen special, because if not, he feels like we will get cursed. So maybe, Ron, we haven't decided yet. Anyways.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I have digressed plenty. I'll move back into this one. Next, we have Ken Shamrock versus Sniper. Jackal joins on commentary. This is something he's been doing for a couple weeks. Shamrock wins, and then Jackal chastises Sniper and says he is washing his hands of him. After this, Recon and Sniper argue about whether they should stay with Jackal. This is a storyline nobody asked for, but it keeps going. Jerry the King interviews Mark Marrow and Sable. Marrow goes on a rant about how he is the star and Sable tries to steal his spotlight. Sable, meanwhile, receives flowers from someone, and Marrow wants to know from who. And I'm pretty sure, and I know at least until WrestleMania, this does not have any sort of like finish. Her receiving flowers from some unknown person, we never find out who that person is. At least until WrestleMania.
WCW ass storyline.
Yeah, really. Jim Cornette then talks about traditional wrestling, saying he was applauded for saying it, but jeered for producing it. He says they don't care, and he will force real wrestling on the people. Okay, whatever. This is kind of his like Jim Cornette says segments that he had a few months ago. Whatever. We then get, which this does actually roll into, the Rock and Roll Express versus the Headbangers with the NWA ref named Tommy Young officiating. They have their own ref for this match. The Headbangers hit the stage dive, but Tommy Young says that Rock and Roll Express win this match because the Headbangers threw out Robert Gibson over the top rope, and per NWA rules, that is a big no-no. So, boo, hate that. I will say, as much as I hate that rule, it does make sense in the context of this match, because the whole point is that the NWA ref is screwing them over. So I'm going to give them that one, even though I don't like the rule.
Yes.
Moving on, Austin cuts a promo to start hour number 2, saying don't mess with him because you'll get stunnered, and it's that simple. He tells HBK to do whatever he needs to do to get ready for their match at WrestleMania 14. As we know, HBK is kind of rehabbing at this time, trying to get ready for that match. He wants HBK to be at his best, because an ass whooping is always the same no matter what shape you're in. He then tells Tyson not to stick his nose in his business. Moving on, Jeff Jarrett faces Owen Hart for the WWF European Championship, and the ref kicks out all of the NWA members. We then get a fun match that sees Jim Cornette cheat and get sharpshooter, causing a DQ, and Owen Hart gets the win. This will very soon cause dissension between Jim Cornette and Jeff Jarrett. This is the first of those matches. Up next, we get a vignette on Michael P.S. Hayes, a.k.a. Doc Hendricks, who comes out and gets a standing ovation and is the guest ring announcer. I believe you said we were in Atlanta, Georgia, right? That's where we're at in this one.
I never said that. We're at the Reunions Arena in Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
man.
Dallas,
what are you
Texas.
talking about?
Oh, that's right. WCCW. Anyways, big hometown hero. I don't Atlanta, because Atlanta is in the Freebird song. Anyways, this is the big thing, is they're trying to like pump this up. They really want you to actually look at Michael P.S. Hayes, because like he is a big deal for Southern wrestling. The fans know exactly who he is. We haven't really hit that point where the territories are no longer relevant in the eyes of these fans. So they know who he is. He is a big deal. So he shows up to be the guest ring announcer, and then the lights go out and Kane arrives. Doc Hendricks attacks Kane with his cowboy boot, and Kane chokeslams, then tombstones him as the crowd boos. And Paul Bearer says to the camera, "The Freebird is grounded," in a very, very great line. Again, we love Paul Bearer with Kane. Like, he's doing such a great job. After this, we get a natural replacement for Doc Hendricks as special guest announcer, and it's Sunny. And I would have laughed, honestly, if Kane came out and tombstoned her too, but he does not. Parada Morgan and...
You would have loved it.
Yeah, Parada Morgan and Brian Christopher face Taka Michinoku and Aguila. And Michinoku and Aguila win. This doesn't have any bearing at all. Farouk, this is really the meat of the episode. Farouk faces Steve Blackman. The Rock cuts a promo and clears some things up, saying that he is still the IC champ. He then says there is no dissension in the nation, so much so that he actually bought gifts for everyone. For Kama, D'Lo, and Mark Henry, he brought them Rolexes, which is like that's a classy gift. It's a classy gift.
Yeah.
But he saved the best for
nice.
Farouk, who is the leader. For Farouk, it's a picture of The Rock that Farouk is disgusted by, and he throws. The Rock unintentionally distracts Farouk during their match, and Farouk is going to use the photo as a weapon, but The Rock stops him because he's like, "Bro, that's my gift to you. Don't use it as a weapon." And so Blackman sees
Don't
this.
re-gift it.
Yeah, absolutely. Blackman sees this, and he rolls him up, and then he wins. So Farouk is pissed. So he destroys the photo, which I have to look, I get that The Rock is kind of a young whippersnapper, but that's just rude. Inherently, that's very rude.
Yeah.
After the commercial, Michael Cole...
It's a thought that counts.
Absolutely. Yeah. After the commercial, Michael Cole...
If you don't like the gift.
Tries to interview the nation, but D'Lo tells him to shove off. We're totally fine. There's nothing going on. While he's saying this, they're screaming in the locker room, which is fantastic. Like, that's absolutely how you should play this off. Goldust then finishes off our show as he comes out dressed as Goldust. Like, I know he's the artist formerly known as, but he's actually dressed as Goldust. And Luna comes out dressed as Marlena. And then he and Mark Marrow face Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack. Sable comes down with flowers, and Luna destroys the flowers. So Sable's had enough of this, so she goes after her. With the ref distracted, Cactus Jack hits Goldust with a chair, and he and Charlie win. Then we close on Sable and Luna catfighting. So the two big takeaways from this episode are, number one, The Rock being The Rock, and he is so damn close to The Rock. Like he's like 9/10 of the way there. And then the other one is the rivalry we've all been begging for, Luna versus Sable.
Yes.
So that's what we've got.
Yes.
Overall, this is not a great Raw. If we were doing it the old way where we said who wins, Nitro or Raw, I'd probably give it to Nitro because, as you guys know, the storylines are what is separating Raw at this time, separating WWF as a whole. This was a week full of really not very good ones. So if we were grading between the two, it would probably go to Nitro. This was a disappointing start to our road to WrestleMania.
I have to say the Goldust dressing like Goldust and Luna dressing like Marlena, I kind of like that and would have been, and I kind of like if they had done something, if instead of doing what they've been doing with Goldust just dressing in all manner of obscenity, if like they had just kind of taken Luna and dressed her like Marlena, I kind of feel like you could work with that. And so when I see stuff I like, I'm like, I feel like we could have done something with that. But they won't.
No,
They won't, because the whole purpose of this is Sable and Luna going at it because they wanna see Sable's 38 specials.
Oh,
We'll
can't wait to
there.
get there.
That's a
Can't wait to
thing.
get there.
Yeah. I'm making a joke, but I'm also telling you what happens because there's a thing.
Like a lot of things in life, Scott, we laugh because it's funny and we laugh because it's true.
That's beautiful, man. Did you come up with that on
I did.
your own?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's certainly not from The Untouchables.
Absolutely
Great
not.
movie, by the way, everybody. Give it a listen or give it a watch, give it a listen. I mean, you can listen to it too, but
It's actually
I
tied for my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your other favorite movie of all time?
Silver Linings Playbook.
That's beautiful, man.
If you've never seen it, has to do with a man with bipolar disorder. I don't know how it could at all resonate with that.
I didn't see, in here, I didn't know you had such a soft side, but that's probably the side I don't see. Get it? Get it? Anyways, I also wanted to note just from a storyline perspective that after the LOD Quebecers match, Road Warrior, Animal, and Hawk kind of get into it a little bit. They get into a bit of a scrum. You know, they lost and they're upset about it. And it seems like they might need to kind of get their heads together and do a refresh, you know, rethink their angle, rethink who they are. You know, I wonder what they could be doing with that. We'll see. It's terrible. It's LOD 2000 and it's not good. But it's coming. LOD 2000 is coming. And I think they're kind of starting to like tell us that that's happening.
Well,
with this, that they're
so the very first thing that happens in this next episode, which is actually a perfect segue, is actually going into that. So I will let you get into the card in a second. But the other thing about this is that they completely fumble any of this storyline. And when and it'll make more sense. It'll be crystal clear once we get to WrestleMania how it got fumbled. But we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the next episode then, because for the next episode, Harvey Fierstein is his name.
Thank you. That was driving me nuts.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I've known the whole time. Well, since I Googled it while you were talking. But I just wanted to give the perfect comedic moment, and that was as we moved on to February 23rd, 1998. We were at the heart of Texas Coliseum in Waco, Texas. The heart of Texas Coliseum, Waco, Texas. I kind of love it. I kind of love that. Here is our card. We've got, again, the Legion of Doom versus the New Age Outlaws. This time it's for the WWF Tag Team Champions of the World. 6 minutes, 14 seconds. Ken Shamrock and Jeff Jarrett go at it for 4 minutes and 22 seconds. The Disciples of the Apocalypse and the Truth Commission go at it in a 6-man tag team match for 4 minutes, 13 seconds. Taka Michinoku and Barry Windham go at it. Barry Windham's now part of the NWA group. And that is 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The artist formerly known as Goldust and Bradshaw go at it for 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Steve Blackman versus The Rock. He's going through the whole nation. 4 minutes, 16 seconds. The Headbangers versus the Rock and Roll Express for the NWA World Tag Team, or the NWA World Tag Team Champions. Didn't we just have that? Didn't we just do that? Yes, we did. What is going on? And so we have that. That's 7 minutes, 39 seconds. And then our main event is Owen Hart versus Mark Marrow for the WWF European Championship. 3 minutes, 58 seconds, Joseph. Break it down. Boom, 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 boom.
So as I started with the last one, and I said that this is like really not a great start to the road to WrestleMania. This is also not a great continuation to the road to WrestleMania. It will get better. It will get better. The storylines will pick up. So if you're like, what? 2 bad weeks in a row, I'm turning off right now. Don't you do that. Do not touch that dial because it will get better. It will get better. Anyways, we open recapping LOD and the New Age Outlaws and their feud that we had a couple months ago in a very WCW booking. And again, they are feuding with Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack. That's the New Age Outlaws. So why are we doing this? Well, because they're going to face each other tonight for the tag team titles. Our very first match is exactly that. And Animal has the win during this match, but Hawk doesn't leave the ring. So the ref is like, dude, get out of the ring. Because he doesn't leave the ring, the pin doesn't happen. He eventually gets out. And with the ref distracted, Billy Gunn hits Animal over the head with the title. They lose. So because they lose, Animal's pissed at Hawk for not getting out of the ring so he could get the win in the pin. Because for some reason, Hawk just inexplicably just starts like celebrating in the ring. Like that's why he didn't leave. It's the weirdest thing. So the two start getting mad. And then they have to be separated by officials. And this will kind of continue throughout the night. The two of them getting really mad at each other. Anyways, we move on to Ken Shamrock facing good.
Slow simmering anger here. I love it.
Ken Shamrock faces Jeff Jarrett. Jim Cornette again unsuccessfully cheats, accidentally hitting Jarrett with his racket, and Shamrock locks in the ankle lock for the win. So Jarrett says to the camera that he thinks he and Cornette need to separate. So Jeff Jarrett has gone from the dude they were doing the vignettes with, the interviews, very serious Jeff Jarrett, to I'm basically like a wrestling god, Jeff Jarrett, to NWA Jeff Jarrett in the span of like 4 months. Surely they will not give him another new gimmick in the next few weeks, but we'll get there.
No.
In the locker room, Animal screams, I ain't got a brother. And then Hawk attacks him and the two start to brawl. So this tag team has now split. They are now, they're fighting. They're actually fighting. They have split up. They no longer see eye to eye.
Not the Legion.
They're no longer brothers. And surely this is one of those things that you'd want to make a long storyline about before ever possibly bringing them back together. But again, we'll get there. DOA faces the Truth Commission, and Kurgan wins with the Paralyzer, then gets pissed at Sniper and paralyzers him too, and Jackal slaps Recon. Okay. HBK is in his helm.
Everybody getting paralyzed.
Like that song by, was it Finger 11? Is that what it was? Isn't that who did that song? Paralyzed?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, Jesus.
What are you talking about?
Wow. Okay. Just going to leave me hanging on that one. HBK is in his home and says that DX believes in policing their own. Triple H says if you want ratings, as Scott searches Paralyzer, if you want ratings, the next few weeks
Damn
will
right
be
I do.
Something.
Finger 11.
He also says, Triple H also says that WrestleMania will be X-rated. That's a thing he's going to say over the next few weeks. I have seen WrestleMania 14. It's quite tame. It's not very X-rated. I mean, probably for the time, maybe, but it's not that crazy. Sonny then introduces Taka Michinoku versus Barry Windham. Barry Windham is about to win when Kane interrupts. The NWA hightail it and Kane destroys Taka. And this is one of the few times where I'm like, Kane, you have gone a bridge too far for me. I really like, are you listening to Paralyzer? Is that why you're bobbing up and down?
I know this song.
Yeah. This is wildly famous in like 2008. Paul Bearer calls out Taker next week. We then move on to hour number 2. New Age Outlaws taunt LOD for splitting them up. Then Chainsaw Charlie shows up and is chainsawing the New Age Outlaws car, and Cactus Jack takes a bat to it. Then the Outlaws flee the scene. It's actually kind of a fun spot. Moving on, Goldust cosplays as the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Why? Because reasons. He then faces Bradshaw, who wins with a clothesline from hell, though they don't know it's called that yet. They're still calling it Lariat. Also, the whole Dusty thing, or Dustin as Dusty thing, it's like a long, long promo of him just being Dusty Rhodes. I don't know what purpose it serves. They never go back to it. It just exists. Anyway.
Can I just say, though, that I like Dustin as Dusty Rhodes more than I like Dusty Rhodes in the NWO?
That is fair. That's fair.
Yeah. It shouldn't happen.
Also, Dustin's impression of Dusty is far better than most people's, which is crazy, seeing as he grew up with him. Anyways.
Yeah, who would know?
Kevin Kelly tries to interview Hawk, who ignores him. So Hawk of LOD is like, I don't got time for any of this. Then The Rock faces Steve Blackman, who last week faced Farouk. D'Lo throws the nunchucks to The Rock, but he overthrows, and Blackman catches them and uses them to win. Farouk does not care about this at all. And D'Lo says, Farouk told me to do it. Don't blame me, Rock. It was Farouk. The Rock demands that Farouk enter the ring, and Farouk walks away. After, Kevin Kelly interviews Luna Vachon and asks why she wasn't with Goldust. She says she is a time bomb of insanity and is waiting for Sable. She says she will be on her like maggots on roadkill. So just completely ignores the question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock and Roll Express.
She's focused.
Yeah, laser
focused on the most important storyline of the night. Sable and Luna Vachon.
The Rock and Roll Express faced the Headbangers. This is the second week in a row. This is important. Commissioner Slaughter comes out and lets NWA ref Tommy Young know that he is banning him from this match. So last week you got to use your ref. This week you do not get to use ref. Cornette still cheats, but he knocks Thrasher onto Ricky Morton. So the Headbangers win the NWA World Tag Team titles. The Headbangers are now the NWA Tag Champs. And this will absolutely not be a problem for Jim Cornette in the next week. I'm saying that because it is a problem, and I actually kind of like it until I don't. Anyways, we get an Austin vignette. Not a whole lot happens, just a vignette. Finally, Mark Marrow faces Owen Hart for the WWF European Championship. Marrow low blows Hart, then goes for the TKO that Owen transfers beautifully into a DDT. Owen Hart best Hart. He locks in the sharpshooter for the win. This match is fun, but difficult for the show to build momentum without its top stars. In really kind of 2 straight weeks, we haven't had DX, we haven't had Austin. That's a lot to be missing at the top of your program. It really doesn't work. Luna comes after Sable, and Dustin holds her back as Mark holds back Sable. Dustin holds back Sable, and then Mark Marrow attacks him. It's a whole convoluted mess. Basically, Mark Marrow's like, Dustin, you touched my wife, so now I'm going to beat you up, which is like fair point, but all he was doing was actually just trying to separate. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. Anyways, it's weird. Are we cheering Mark? Are we booing Mark? We don't really know which one we're doing. But again, this week is kind of a carbon copy of last week. It's very similar across the board.
Yeah.
And having no DX and no Austin, who are the 2 biggest acts you have going right now, make it difficult. The Rock is doing everything he can with what he's given to try to make this show work. And to be fair to The Rock, both weeks his segments have worked very well. But The Rock ain't The Rock yet. Like, he ain't that guy yet. So it's really not working. And then on top of that, you don't have Mick Foley. We don't have Taker, which actually, storyline-wise, you need to not have Taker right now. So I'm okay with it. But that's 4 or 5 of your top guys just not on your show 2 weeks in a row. Makes it really difficult. So not overly fond of these 2 weeks.
Yes. In my notes, I wrote dumb. That's what I wrote. That's my note. No, you're right. So it's 2 weeks in a row of no live appearance by Stone Cold or Shawn Michaels. I mean, Shawn Michaels, we get there's a reason he's not there, but you need him. You need him in some fashion because Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels are your main event at WrestleMania.
Yes.
This is all building up to WrestleMania and buying WrestleMania. This is a business. People got to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And so you got to give me some reason to buy the pay-per-view. And if you're not hyping me on Shawn and Austin, why am I buying? I'm buying for the LOD dissension, which again, you're right. Like it's the same thing again, because we had kind of mild dissension last week after they lost, and now we have a more serious, like they're done. But as I've already alluded to, they're not done. They're changing gimmicks and it sucks.
Yeah.
So I don't like the direction this is going to. Like on the WrestleMania pod, which is only $2 a month, I'm gonna go on a tirade about LOD 2000. Just
Ooh.
fair warning.
Oh,
Fair warning. Yeah. Yeah. And it's really just that it's 2 years from 2000. What are we doing? But more importantly, yeah, but it seems like Sable versus Luna is what they think is the hottest thing going.
Yeah.
Because that's what ends the night. And that's what's ended the night
2 weeks
2 weeks in a row, basically, is them going at it. Why? I mean, okay, I get that Sable is attractive, and I get that they understand that, and I get that wrestling, at least at this time, is for young boys, is for, teenage boys. Those teenage boys turned into man babies and are still the target demographic.
Yes.
But that's who it was at the time. And as wrestling fans, people can't get mad at me because we're wrestling fans. So I'm calling myself a man baby. But, so
you're not.
I get it.
You're not.
But,
let's be honest. You're not calling yourself out on this because you're not a fucking child. You're not looking at this and going, man, these women need to be naked the entire time. You're looking at this being like, I hope we get a really good women's match. Those are two very different things.
Yes. When we watched it, I think that's what I would say. I was saying if these two are actually wrestling, because we get to the women's division turns into nightgown matches, right? Or stripping clothes off matches. And I was like, I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt because if it's good for the story, I'm going to be okay with it.
Real quick,
and then it's not.
What he's talking about comes up in the next pay-per-view. So that's a forewarning. That's what he's talking about. This is how we watched it.
I know. But I'm just saying, that's what this is built up to. This is building up to them and the ring, and it's not gonna lead to anything worth watching.
Yeah.
So, But you know what's our next night of Raw, because I think it gets a little bit better.
It starts to get better, yes.
Because we actually have some of our mainline talent in the building. So it's March 2nd, 1998, and we're at the Gund Arena, G-U-N-D, Gund. If you live in Cleveland, Ohio, email us and tell us if it's Gund Arena or not. And we have our card of the Disciples of the Apocalypse versus the New Age Outlaws for the WWF World Tag Team Championship. That's only 1:22. That's wild. Mark Merrill versus Tom Brandy. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. 2 minutes, 42 seconds. About the night getting better. Mark Henry versus Owen Hart. Okay, I can dig it. WWF European Championship. 5 minutes, 37 seconds. Taka Michinoku and the Headbangers versus Barry Windham and the Rock and Roll Express in a 6-man tag team match for 1:48. Steve Blackman continues roundhouse kicking the Nation of Domination around the world with a Kama Mustafa match for 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Flash Funk goes against Jeffrey Jarrett for 3 minutes and 32 seconds. And our main event is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Pascal Kane. Tell me about it, Joseph.
Yeah. We start with an Austin vignette involving Mike Tyson. Then DX begin our show. Triple H says the road to WrestleMania officially begins. So apparently last 2 weeks didn't count. This is the week where it counts. And sadly, it's kind of true because this week it actually is quite impressive. He also again says that WrestleMania is now X-rated. That's, again, like I said, it's going to be a thing he says for the next weeks. Then he calls out Owens, saying he has been dancing around the WWF with his European title and that he will go through Owen like a hot knife through butter. HBK gets on the mic and says that DX will make Tyson an offer he cannot refuse, but if he makes the wrong decision, he will never, ever forget D-Generation X. He then calls out Austin and says he wants him to shine his chrome dome so he can crack it like an egg. Glass shatters and Austin arrives when the lights go out and DX leaves. Then Kane comes out. Paul Bearer says that Kane will send Austin straight to hell. Lights go out and Kane has left and Austin is alone in the ring. Austin grabs a headset and says he will whip Kane's ass tonight. So that's how we get our main event. Up next, the New Age Outlaws arrive with neck braces on, which is one of my all-time favorite heel things to do. They say that after the attack last week, they have injured necks. They say they have videotape of the attack they received from Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. They have a written doctor's excuse that they cannot wrestle tonight. Commissioner Slaughter says they are not hurt, and he is ordering them to wrestle and defend their tag team titles now against DOA. So apparently, Slaughter is also Dr. Slaughter. Okay. I actually do like this. The Outlaws cause a DQ, and Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack chase them off after hiding in a ringside dumpster, which made me laugh. We get a Sable vignette.
The storyline continues.
Yes. We get a Sable vignette.
The dumpster storyline continues.
Then Mark Marrow faces Tom Brandy. Brandy counters a TKO. Luna Vachon helps Marrow, and Marrow hits a low blow and the TKO for the win. And then Luna kisses Marrow, and Goldust attacks Marrow from behind. And Sable helps Mark Marrow, who in turn yells at her and after she pushed him down and leaves. It's okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why aren't they on the same side? Anyways, whatever. Owen Hart faces Mark Henry for the WWF European Championship. Easily Mark Henry's biggest match of his career to this point. Slaughter forces the Nation of Domination to leave. Chyna comes out to watch the match. Owen locks in the sharpshooter and Chyna distracts her. She pushes Owen off top rope into Mark Henry's arms, who locks in the bear hug. She then low blows Henry, and the ref sees this, and it causes a DQ because although she wants Owen hurt, she doesn't want him to lose the title just yet. She wants Triple H to beat him for it. Michael Cole asks her, "Why did you do that?" And she says, "Because I can." Actually a great line from Chyna.
Good point.
The Headbangers and Taka Michinoku take on the Rock and Roll Express and Barry Windham. The Headbangers and Taka win, and again, it's because of a cornet mistake. Vince McMahon introduces Mike Tyson. Vin Man asks if Tyson will be the enforcer or will Austin enforce his own rules. And then DX comes out. HBK introduces himself to Tyson and calls out Tyson, who says, "If you want to do this, let's do it right now." So HBK tells him to get his people out of the ring and he'll get his own people out and then they can square off. So the two men clear the ring and they are face to face and they look like they are ready to trade blows. Instead of swinging, HBK rips off Tyson's shirt. Underneath his shirt, he has a DX shirt. It was a swerve, bro.
Oh! What?
Tyson is their newest member. HBK says that he is the man that runs this show. It's a fantastic segment. Afterwards, Steve Blackman faces Kama. Again, Slaughter forces the Nation to the back, but the Nation run out and attack Blackman, causing a DQ. Shamrock runs in and beats up Kama while The Rock and Farouk clear the ring. And then we get the debut of Tennessee Lee. Do the thing, Scott.
I guess Tennessee Lee, really?
If you're wondering who Tennessee Lee is, this is formerly Colonel Robert Parker of WCW.
Yeah.
He introduces Jeff Jarrett, his new client, who is back to his Double J role. WWF has no clue what to do with Jeff Jarrett. Double J dismisses his association with the NWA and introduces Tennessee Lee and says, "Ain't I great?" This is going to be his big catchphrase for the next couple of months before he gets to "Don't Piss Me Off," which, by the way, will be another gimmick change. Double J faces
That one sticks.
Yes.
That one sticks.
Double J faces Flash Funk and beats him with the figure 4. We have a mystery celebrity on her way to WWF. She is silhouetted, and we don't know who this is until we see it's Jennifer Flowers. And if you don't know who Jennifer Flowers is, she is famous for having sex with Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
That's it.
Vince doing that again.
Yeah, that's what she's
Vince
famous
doing that
for.
again.
Because she is an attractive woman, and she did the deed with Billy C. And that's why she's famous.
Wet Willie.
Yeah. It's kind of early Paris Hilton or early Kim Kardashian before they could make it into millions and millions of dollars.
Vince is notoriously Republican.
Yes.
I mean, Linda McMahon is in the Trump administration right now. So it's very clear that Vince hates Bill Clinton. We've seen this over the course of our recordings where they had a fake Bill Clinton in the audience. Any way he can do something to insult Bill Clinton, he's gonna do. It's just and often for no discernible reason.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. Like at least the Bill Clinton imposture was because they were in Washington D.C. Like that's I can get that. That's kind of a joke, right?
Yeah.
But this, why?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, there's no reason for this. But that's literally what she's doing at this point. She's turning that situation into a career, and it's just kind of a short-lived career. Anyways, which by the way, kind of tangential, but like it works. My wife had no idea that's how Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton became famous. Like Paris Hilton obviously comes from a rich family, as does Kim Kardashian, but that's what they're famous for, is a sex tape. Like, that's it.
Yes.
They have moved well past that now, but that's what got them famous. Anyways, we move on to Michael Cole interviewing DX, and he wants to know why Mike Tyson joined them. They don't say much, and they
I mean, that's how he would say it.
He would say it.
That's how Mike Tyson would say it. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. He's gonna beat my ass now.
We get a recap of LOD's implosion, and then afterwards, Kane faces Austin. Paul Bearer says that Austin is in for a shock when in the morning there's the revving engine, which you only hear on the pod, but we get every single time we record. Paul Bearer says Austin is in for a shock when in the morning he will wake up side by side with The Undertaker in the pits of hell. Austin comes out and DX attacks him. After commercial, Austin walks away on his own accord. In the ring, Kane attacks a random fan, and Paul Bearer tells him to grab the bell and the timekeeper. Bearer says this is long overdue. He believes they should pay respects to The Undertaker and wants the timekeeper to ring the bell 10 times in the memory of The Undertaker, which is quite sweet, actually. The timekeeper begins to ring the bell. He then says he should ring it one more time for himself, and then Kane chokeslams and tombstones the timekeeper. He says Kane has one more tombstone left, and who is it for? He tells anyone to step up. Then the bell hits, the lights go out, and the bells continue to toll.
Mm-hmm.
A blue light lights up the arena, and Taker's music finally hits. A coffin arrives on the stage. Lightning hits the coffin to reveal Undertaker, who sits up and says, "Welcome to hell, and the demon who will lead you to eternal damnation." He tells them he sued the souls of his parents and explained why he would do the one thing he swore he would never do. Kane lights the stage on fire, and Taker walks straight through it. He says, unlike when they were children and their parents could separate them, no one is here to save him now. And we close the show. This is absolutely batshit crazy, and I love every freaking moment of it. It is so good. So again, my big complaint with the previous 2 weeks was that we didn't have any of our top stars to help really move these storylines along. In 1 week, we get all of them, and this is a banger show. This is a great one. This is fantastic. We get multiple swerves in it. We get the reveal of Taker coming back, which is leading us to Kane versus Taker at WrestleMania 14, the first of many times these two will square off. It's fantastic. This show is absolutely like what I've been wanting for the previous couple weeks.
I guess they were right. The road to WrestleMania starts now because, as you know, we get everything. We get all the names we want. We get an absolutely insane return of Undertaker with the lightning striking the coffin, the fire, everything. Like, they went all out on that. That was great. I don't really have anything more to say than you've already said, but I do want to go back to the fact that, again, Sergeant Slaughter is a real commissioner.
Yeah.
He actually does. 2 weeks in a row, he has made a decision, and it has stuck, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row here, he said yes or no, and it happened. And it's just so refreshing
Mm-hmm.
that someone has some authority because because having this versus the NWO, like, DX is the NWO of WWF, right? I mean, that's really
Yeah.
kind of what they are. They're the outsiders, they're the outlaws, they're the bad actors, and having a foil in Sergeant Slaughter really works. What are you laughing about?
I laughed about bad actors. That was a great subtle dig. I loved it.
Mm,
It was well done.
Well, thank you. But because, like, DX, because if this was WCW and the NWO had come out in neck braces and said, "Oh, we can't wrestle tonight," they would not have wrestled tonight.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And instead, Sergeant Slaughter says, "Nah, I know you're faking.
Yeah.
I know you're faking." And and then again with NWA cheating to win last week, like NWO does with Nick Patrick all the time. Sergeant Slaughter's like, "No, not this week. We're not doing that again."
Mm-hmm.
Law and order, Sergeant Slaughter.
Absolutely.
I love it. But you know what I love more?
What's that, Scott?
March 9th, 1998, at the Wheeling Civic Center in Wheeling, West Virginia, we have Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman has now added, Steve Blackman said, "Hey, Ken Shamrock, can you help me roundhouse kick the Nation of Domination?" And Ken Shamrock said, "Absolutely." Versus the Nation of Domination, 4 minutes, 37 seconds. Owen Hart and Barry Windham, WWF European Championship match, 5 minutes, 15 seconds. Brian Christopher versus Aguila for 4 minutes, 55 seconds. The Quebecois versus Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie for 5 minutes, 26 seconds. The Headbangers put the NWA Tag Team Championship belts back on the line versus the Rock and Roll Express. We'll see what happens there. How dare they, these upstarts, take the NWA Tag Team Champion belts. Then we've got Mark Merrow and Goldust going at it because they got beef now. 5 minutes, 30 seconds. And then our main event is Triple H versus fellow DX member. This is stunning. This is sad to see. Dissension in the DX ranks. They're breaking up. Longtime DX member Savio Vega going against Triple H. Joseph, make heads or tails of this for me.
Well, you know what? We're gonna start this with just a really good recap of Tyson joining DX and DX attacking Austin, and then Taker's return last week. That's how we're gonna start the show, recapping what we just watched. The Rock and Farouk face Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock, and the Nation ends up interfering and causing a DQ. The Rock pulls everyone back, saying, "I want Shamrock." So Farouk pulls the Nation out. You want Shamrock, you got Shamrock. But then Shamrock starts to fight back, which The Rock was not expecting. Nation wants to help him, but Farouk won't let them. Shamrock ankle locks The Rock, and he just screams as the Nation kind of just stare at him and leave. Afterwards, Triple H and China come out, and Triple H says this show is X-rated. He calls out Owen Hart and says China got in his head last week. Well, this week, China might get physical, which she did last week, though. So, okay. He says HBK can't be here tonight. And shows footage of Austin being attacked last week. HBK is at his home and he's doing rehab. He's at his home in San Antonio. He won't be available for this show. The fans boo this. They want to see HBK. But look, that's life. People got rehab. They can't always be there. So he himself calls out
Makes
Austin.
sense.
He says that Austin is just a fab. He's just a 15 seconds of fame kind of thing. And he hasn't shown HBK anything new. He won't step down at WrestleMania from where he had to get. He won't lay down for anybody. And then Triple H then says, suck it, and joins commentary. Fun stuff. Owen Hart faces Barry Windham for the WWF European Championship. China eventually low blows Owen, and Barry Windham wins via countout as Triple H cackles. Also, Triple H starts doing this laugh where like it's the wheezing laugh, and it's actually really, really difficult to listen to. It's like, it's good, but it's like he like honks while he does it. It's weird. Anyways, I just remembered that in my head. Bradshaw then attacks Windham, his former partner. This will continue over the next few weeks. Sable is getting handcuffed by Mark Marrow for a later match, but we'll get there. Jerry interviews Paul Bearer and Kane and King. He interviews Paul Bearer and Kane, and King wants to be sure that he's safe. He doesn't want to get tombstoned during this interview. Paul Bearer doesn't want to talk about The Undertaker, though. Instead, he wants to talk about how Kane destroyed Vader. Okay? The seats behind Kane and Bearer start flipping up and down. They're in like a backstage locker room area. So the seats that are in the locker room start flipping up and down, and it's like, ooh, too spooky. Little stuff like that will happen all the way through the night. Like the feed going in and out, things like that, the lights flickering. Afterwards, Aguila faces Brian Christopher. Brian has Jerry the King with him, and Aguila has Taka Michinoku with him. During the match, we see the lights flicker and hear thunder. The King interferes and causes a DQ, and Taka gives him some comeuppance. Austin arrives and heads...
scared.
Austin arrives and heads straight to the ring. He is pissed off. He is ready to sit in the ring for 2 hours until Vin Man comes out. He tells JR to sit his cowboy ass back down before he stomps a mud hole in it. Gerald Briscoe and Jack Lanza come out, and Austin threatens them. Then Commissioner Slaughter comes out, and Austin threatens him too. Pat Patterson and some security come out, and he again threatens them. Finally, Vince McMahon comes out, and Austin says he has been trying to provoke him, calling Mike Tyson the baddest man on the planet. And Vin Man says, dude, it's just a figure of speech. I'm not trying to provoke you. It's a figure of speech. It's how he's described. That's all I'm saying. And Austin says, well, this is a figure of speech right here. How do you like that? And he flips off Vin Man, and it's great. He says, you don't want to see me be the WWF champion, do you? If you do, give me a hell yeah. And Vin Man will not give him a hell yeah. Austin says he will let Vin Man hit him first. Then he rips Vin Man's jacket, and he continues to antagonize Vin Man, trying to get Vince to punch him in the face. And Vince will not. Austin counts down from 10. And Vin Man leaves. Austin then says, because Triple H is in the wrong place at the wrong time, Stone Cold will just kick his ass later on tonight. He tells HBK he won't have to lay down for him. He'll beat him down. Now, this segment ends, but this is an important note on Vin Man. This segment starts what I believe is the Vin Man character, the Vince McMahon character. We will see, I think it's next week. It's definitely one of these 2 weeks, one of these next 2 weeks leading up to WrestleMania. We're going to see Vince McMahon go Vince McMahon, and I can't wait to get there. Anyways, after this, Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack face the Quebecers. Lights flicker again. Charlie and Jack win a fun but simple match. Road Dogg comes out with an arm brace and says that his shoulder is effed up because of them. He challenges them to come face him. Jack heads towards him, and Billy Gunn hits Charlie who's in the ring with the steel chair. The New Age Outlaws taunt them. After this,
trick.
Yeah, almost a swerve, bro. Anyways,
Wow.
Kane and Paul Bearer come out. Bearer says Taker has made a mistake by challenging Kane at WrestleMania. He could have rested in peace, but he had to come back. He says Kane has only just begun. And then the lights go out and Taker arrives behind Kane. Lights go out again and Bearer screams, "No, no, no." Lights come back on and Taker is gone again. Bearer taunts Taker and Kane's pyro hits. Next, we have Goldust, who faces Mark Marrow with Luna and Sable both handcuffed to separate parts of the ring. Goldust eventually knocks out the ref and he knocks out the ref and he knocks out Mark Marrow and unlocks Luna, who attacks a defenseless Sable. She paints Sable's face all over with like makeup, making her look quote unquote disgusting. It doesn't, but I get the gist of it. Goldust and Luna have a promo where they challenge Marrow and Sable to a mixed tag match at WrestleMania. We then get more Tyson vignettes. Tyson is interviewed and says he was appalled by Austin flipping him off and he won't take the disrespect. And finally, we get our main event. As you mentioned, DX member Savio Vega facing DX member Triple H.
Long time.
Security surrounds the ring to save Triple H from Austin. Austin comes straight down the ramp and he stunners Gerald Briscoe and a ref. Then he gets up and turns right into a sweet chin music. It was a swerve, bro.
What?
HBK was
What?
there
Sean was here the whole
time.
Can't believe we fell for it.
We end as Sean is about to swing a steel chair at a defenseless Austin. It is a great ending to the show. Another banger episode right after the last one. And again, this is what we've been wanting. This is what we've been hoping for on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, this was a really good one. I thought start to finish pretty solid. Like we had all around good matches. I feel, the NWA stuff has kind of fallen flat to me, which is weird because as you know, I love the storyline that they're doing with NWA, that we're real wrestlers and you're not. They're just not doing it really well.
And they have nobody notable.
Like, I need an invasion angle.
Yeah. They have nobody notable to do it. Like it should have been Jeff Jarrett. They should have strapped a rocket to him. And it should have been pretty much just Jeff Jarrett. Instead of, now he brought I like the Rock and Roll Express, but they're 137 years old at this time.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Yes.
So those things they shouldn't have done.
Yeah. But other than that, as always, right? This is to get you to buy the pay-per-view. This is to get you hyped to buy the pay-per-view. The Austin Shawn Michaels rivalry is really kind of going off like a rocket now. We have the Mike Tyson angle. Mike Tyson is probably like the biggest name.
Yes.
Maybe besides like Michael Jordan in professional sports right now. Yeah. And the fact that they've got him and he's on DX, so he's against our hero Stone Cold, that's crazy. That's crazy. And even more importantly than that, you've got the Sable and Luna Vachon angle continuing, which is really what we're here for.
That's what puts it over the top. That's what sells the tickets.
Yeah, that's the rocket fuel that we need.
Yeah.
No. But we got to keep going.
We do.
We got to keep going because we got like 2 more episodes. Let's roll.
Yes.
March 16th, 19th. People are listening just going, and just hurling their headphones. March 16th, 1998 at the America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Good Lord. Wheeling, West Virginia to the complete opposite side of the country in a week. I actually just read a story from, I think it was Tajiri. He was talking about his time in WWF and just how grueling it is. What a grind it is. You live out of a suitcase. You're constantly packing and unpacking. You don't have time to settle down. It's one hotel room after another. And I see these jumps from Wheeling, West Virginia to Phoenix, Arizona. I'm like, God, I don't envy these guys at all.
It's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons why people who are wrestlers now in WWE, who have been longtime wrestlers, have a lot of lack of sympathy to their younger counterparts because it now is not nearly as bad. Now there's significantly less live events.
Yes.
There's significantly less travel. It's a lot more accommodating. It's a lot easier on the current generation wrestlers. So the people who've been around for a long time are like, you guys are little crybaby bitches because this is nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right to not sympathize with them, but but I get kind of their perspective.
It's still a grueling, tough business, but yeah, to your point, like they're like, you know, I mean, that was one of the big selling points for wrestlers going over to WCW was less. You had to be there less. Like the schedule was going to, they let the schedule be more flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, they're doing like 3 televised shows, right? We've got Raw, we've got Heat. And are they still doing Shotgun Saturday Night?
I think
at this point,
so.
They might
I think
be.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So at least 3 televised programs, and then they're doing house shows all over the place in between.
The phrase they would say was that there's 365 days in a year, and you're on the road for 300 of them. So that's a lot.
Yeah,
that is far more.
Crazy.
Which is why when you have like, you know, I love me some Tom Brady, but when he starts talking shit about wrestling, it's like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. Like,
which he recently did.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. You don't know.
But we'll talk about that on a different. On a different episode,
Yeah.
we don't have time.
We don't got time for it.
D'Lo Brown versus Ken Shamrock for 1:49. Jeff Jarrett versus Tom Brady for 1:54. What? Is every match going to be under 2 minutes? The Headbangers versus the Rock and Roll Express. For 2 minutes and 7 seconds. We just got over the 2-minute mark. Billy Gunn versus Chainsaw Charlie. Solo match here for 2 minutes, 23 seconds because Road Dogg is so injured. Triple H and Owen Hart for the WWF European Championship that Triple H stole from our boy Owen. He stole it. He tricked him into wrestling injured. And now Owen wants it back. But 51-second match? Oh, no. Oh, no. And then we have Joseph, what we've all been waiting for. Sable versus Luna.
Absolutely.
And that's our main event.
Have to have it.
Now I'm concerned, Joseph. Tell me if my feelings of concern are accurate, fair, reasonable.
Well, we open with Ken Shamrock being interviewed by Kevin Kelly. He's asked if he will be able to keep his temper in check at WrestleMania 14. Because as we know, Shamrock kind of loses sometimes. And Shamrock says that he has self-discipline, which I have to say, I haven't seen yet. But it's nice to know he has it. At WrestleMania, you won't have to worry about his temper, and there will be a new IC champion. He says at WrestleMania, we will find out who the real People's Champion is. The Rock comes out and tells Kenny to know his role and shut his mouth for the very first time we have seen, I believe. He also calls him a jabroni.
Do we count that as a debut?
Sure, why not?
I mean, it's The Rock. It's big moments in The Rock, so I'll give it to him.
He also calls him a jabroni and says he can't hang with the People's Champ. He says if he can last 2 minutes with any member of the nation right now, then he will grant Ken Shamrock an IC title shot tonight. Then The Rock volunteers D'Lo, who's like, wait, what? Me? And Shamrock tells, I am repeating exactly what he says here.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Shamrock tells D'Lo to shut his monkey ass up, which seems pretty racist given the context. Then he doubles down on this
I believe
and says it again.
Well, and I believe Shamrock is the one who said that there was a criminal element for no reason in the WWF.
I think so.
That had to be so. And we're not accusing anybody. These may be the lines he was given. But what are we doing here?
Yes. He doubles down on this, says it again, and then D'Lo swings at him, so we do get the match. The Rock, during the match, with 11 seconds left, chair shots Ken Shamrock, and then he just clobbers him over the head with it again. I mean, just absolutely clocks him so hard that Shamrock is seemingly visibly very concussed. He's about to again when Farouk actually goes in and pulls the chair away from him. He's like, bro, he's had enough. After the commercial, we see Shamrock backstage with concussion-like symptoms, which according to Cam Scatabo, don't exist. Anyways, Next,
I think he was just born with them.
yeah. Next, Sable comes out with Mark Marrow. She calls Luna a little bitch and says she has had it with her, so she wants a one-on-one match tonight. Then, this actually gets kind of funny because we're going to see him twice. The Phoenix Suns gorilla just randomly comes down like Sting from the rafters and bounces around for a minute.
Yeah.
Tennessee Lee introduces Double J, who arrives via horseback. He faces Tom Brandi and wins with a figure 4. Kevin Kelly interviews The Rock, and he says he doesn't care about Shamrock. He's just worried about who he will face at WrestleMania after The Rock laid the smackdown on Shamrock. Also, the very first time he's ever said that. Do the thing, Scott.
Oh!
We get a vignette about WrestleMania and HBK rather, and Austin. The point is to show the differences in their rise up the ranks. Afterwards, Rock and Roll Express and Jim Cornette take on the Headbangers. The Headbangers win with a stage dive and then are attacked by the new Midnight Express. They got the debut of the new Midnight Express. Do you think, Scott? It's bombastic Bob Hawley and bodacious Bart Gunn, who have joined the NWA. Cornette says he has been begged to bring back the Midnight Express for 8 years. And to that I say, by who, Jim Cornette? By who? He then has them take out the Rock and Roll Express for losing the NWA Tag Team titles last week and this week. Afterwards, Jennifer Flowers is back and makes some sexual innuendos. So moving on. Then we have the Suns Gorilla again, who gets attacked by Kane, completely dismantled, and I laughed because the visual of Kane attacking a mascot gorilla and just laying it into him is hilarious.
Choke slamming.
Yes.
The Phoenix Suns gorilla.
That'd be great if during the next Phoenix Suns game, if he was just like came out in like a full body cast, that would have been great.
He has the wrestling neck brace.
Yes. Owen Hart comes out and has his ankle in a boot because last week he destroyed it in his match. At best, it's a severe high ankle sprain. I'm saying that because they show the replay of it, and that's at best what it is. He says he will still be at WrestleMania. As he joins on commentary to watch Chainsaw Charlie face off against Billy Gunn, Road Dogg is on the mic the whole time and eventually runs in for the DQ. Terry Funk DDTs Billy onto the tag titles. Then Cactus Jack shows up and Chainsaw Charlie ties up Road Dogg by the feet, and Cactus pulleys him up off the ground. Cactus says, "I don't know how to get you down, so I guess your ass better call somebody." And it's a great line from Cactus Jack. Then we get a commercial from Bop It, so hell yeah on that. Afterwards, Luna Vachon calls Sable an ignorant slut and agrees to find her tonight, to fight her tonight rather. But when she decides, what? Okay. Vince McMahon comes out and is interviewed about last week and Stone Cold. Vin Man gets more and more upset about being re-shown the footage from last week and suggests that if he had decided to throw a punch at Austin, he would have broken Austin's jaw. And that would mean that Austin would not be able to compete at WrestleMania. So what good is it for him to do that? He is then shown...
He has a point.
He is then shown being ordered out of his own ring last week. And Vin Man says he does what he does for the fans, and that it would have been bad if he had taken Austin down, doubling down on this "I can kick Austin's ass" thing. Kevin Kelly asks Austin says Austin asked Vin Man if he wants to see Austin as the WWF champ, and that Vin Man dodged that question. So now Kevin Kelly is asking him the same question for clarification. Do you want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin as the WWF champion? Vin Man says, it doesn't matter what I think, it matters what the fans think. And Kevin Kelly says, yeah, but Austin and myself have now both asked you personally, do you want to see him as champion? And Vin Man says, If Austin became molded into a respectable champion, that would be one thing. But if he becomes the champion as he is now, that would be a corporate PR nightmare. Kevin Kelly says, you still haven't answered the question, and the fans want the truth. And Vin Man says, y'all can't handle the truth. And Kevin Kelly presses him again and says simply, yes or no, do you want to see Austin as WWF champion? And Vin Man says, it's not just a no, it's a, oh, hell no. He then tells Austin, that's the bottom line because Vince McMahon said so. If you are wondering where the exact moment is that we see the Mr. McMahon character debut, this is it. Do the thing, Scott.
Gotta be.
Do the thing.
This is a good.
Yeah.
You froze a couple seconds for me there, so
Okay.
but I'll do it twice. So
There you go.
this is such a big reveal. This is such a big reveal. It deserves 2 Oz anyways, because the Mr. McMahon character is great,
Yes.
and give
such
credit where credit is due.
Incredible
Vince
range from him.
Yes, and he's good. He's good at being a douchey businessman, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. We then get a Stone Cold vignette. Triple H taunts Owen for hiding from him, and he asks if Owen is actually a man. Triple H challenges him right now, saying he's full of crap, saying he's injured. Triple H pushes Owen, and the two start throwing punches. The bell rings, and I guess we're getting a match, but then Owen gets thrown into the ring post. Chyna takes a totally not fake bat to Owen's ankle. Triple H puts him in a leg lock, and the ref stops the match and awards the victory in the European Championship back to Triple H. I think this was done just in case Owen actually can't be cleared at Mania, so it kind of makes sense. It's very abrupt. We did not expect to see this happen. It made more sense to have Owen keep the title until Mania, but I think they're going, we don't actually know if you're going to be healthy, so we're just going to real quickly take the belt off you, and then we'll try to have that match if we can, which they do end up having that match. Anyways, we get to the really important part, the meat of the bone of our story. Luna and Sable start a cat fight. They get separated, and Mero accidentally hurts Sable's knee, pulling her off and tossing her to the ground. To be fair, not a domestic violence situation. He's trying to get her away. You know what I mean? I get it. But it tweaks her knee. She's hurt.
Yes.
And then the lights go out, and Kane arrives, and Mark Mero runs away, the rat bastard, leaving his wife for dead. So Kane gets ready to choke slam her when the bell tolls over and over again and the lights go out.
What?
Undertaker arrives on top of the Titantron in a grand spectacle and tells Kane he will strike down at WrestleMania 14 and kind of quotes the Quentin Tarantino version of Ezekiel 25:17, but kind of not. Lightning strikes a casket on the ramp and it explodes open, and we see a Kane dummy is inside it that catches fire as we close the show. So what started as, dear God, is this how we're going to end the show, ended in, dear God, this is how we end the show? So there you go. I liked it.
What a save.
Yeah.
What a save. I'm back in. I was out, and now I'm back in. And I am ready for WrestleMania. Let's go. Oh, wait, we got another episode.
We got to go home show.
It's March 23rd. It's March 23rd, 1998 at the Tucson Convention Center in Tucson, Arizona. This is just down the road. This is a bit easier of a drive for them. So that's nice to hear. We've got Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie versus the Quebecois. 3 minutes, 48 seconds. We got Steve Blackman and Jeff Jarrett for 2 minutes and 27 seconds. We got the DOA versus the new Midnight Express for 3 minutes and 32 seconds. We've got Chains and Farouk for 3 minutes, 38 seconds. We got Barry Windham and Bradshaw burying the hatchet for 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Steve Austin versus The Rock as our main event. 10 minutes, 44 seconds. I'm at the edge of my seat, Joseph. Tell me.
Did it again. Muted myself again. We begin by recapping last week's Mr.
Why
McMahon
are you doing
rant.
that?
I mute myself so that way,
it's funny.
in case I make any noises, you can do your thing and everything. I try to be respectful of it.
No, I appreciate
But then I'm forgetting to unmute myself.
You know what? You know what happened when you muted yourself and then you unmuted yourself and you said, "Oh, I forgot to mute myself." And I yelled, "Why do you keep doing that?" But I had already muted myself and you couldn't hear it, so I had to unmute myself to yell at you. Man, what a swerve. How the tables have turned.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Look, we're in the go home show and we're about ready to go home ourselves. We recap last week's Mr. McMahon rants. We begin tonight with the Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is interviewed by Kevin Kelly, who asks about Mr. McMahon's comments. Austin tells him to shut the hell up, saying Vin Man made it perfectly clear that he doesn't want Austin as WWF champion. He says, "You cannot mold me or break me. I do what I want, when I want, and can't nobody stop me." The single most important thing for him is to get HBK in the ring at WrestleMania and beat his ass 1, 2, 3. He says, "You can throw whatever you want at me, but I want Sean's ass." Kevin Kelly implies that DX is coming in full force, and Austin is not, which damn near gets him stunned, and Kevin Kelly is scared. He says he will sit in the back with a big cooler of Steve Weisers. Then Commissioner Slaughter comes out and tells Austin that he is in fact wrestling tonight. And Austin says,
"What?"
Says who? And Slaughter says that McMahon said so. So even though he is not here tonight, Vin Man wants him to wrestle Intercontinental Champion The Rock. Austin says, "Sure, okay, I'll do that." Then Slaughter says, "If you don't, then your Mania match will be a non-title match." And Austin, who literally just says he said he would wrestle him, points out that he literally just said he would wrestle him and then stuns Commissioner Slaughter. So actually, we had the debut of the Mr. McMahon episode, or Mr. McMahon character last episode. And this episode, we actually see Slaughter become one of his servants. So there you go. We have a shift in Slaughter's character. Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie take on the Quebecers, which we've seen like 4 times now in the road to WrestleMania. The New Age Outlaws come out in tuxedos and hang out on the ramp, which distracts Cactus Jack and leaves Chainsaw Charlie to fend for himself. The New Age Outlaws attack Chainsaw and Cactus to cause the DQ, then beat them with weapons post-match again to gain the advantage at Mania. The Bop It Slam of the Week is Shawn Michaels' Sweet Chin musicking Austin the other week. I like that. Anyways, Tennessee Lee introduces Double J, who is taking on Steve Blackman. Double J reverses a superplex into a pin, and Tennessee Lee holds Blackman's foot so he can't kick out, and Blackman is rightfully pissed. Another ref comes out and says that Double J cheated, so Double J attacks him, and then Steve Blackman fights him off. Okay. It's announced that DX will hold a public workout this Thursday in Boston. I'm going to go into this real quick. The point of this is to have a public workout, do some like shadow boxing and stuff, and kind of show how fit DX or Sean is. That he's in wrestling, fighting. He's ready to wrestle his match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's the point of this. And what it's going to end up happening is Austin's going to come down. DX is going to jump Austin. They tie him up on the ropes. I think there's a visual where Sean and Mike Tyson kiss either side of Austin's head, making fun of him. It's this whole thing. It's in public, by the way, in Boston. And as Sean is ready to leave the ring, some fan throws a battery in the ring. There's footage of this. You can see it. Throws a battery and it hits Sean right in the head. Sean goes nuclear, grabs a mic, and just cuts a friggin' scathing promo against the fans. And it was not scripted. It was not intended. And Sean is losing his mind right now because, number one, he's on a lot of drugs. Number 2, he is in a lot of pain. And number 3, he's just trying to get to WrestleMania so he can drop the title to Steve and do his freaking job. And now he has to deal with fans being dicks to him. So, yeah, he loses his shit.
A battery. Good Lord.
Yeah. Back to this one.
Jeez.
A limo arrives. Then we see a recap of Kane murdering the Phoenix Suns gorilla. And then him and Taker in their showdown last week. We see Taker in a graveyard praying to his mother and father. He calls Kane the devil. He asks for forgiveness for the sin he is about to commit, which is not how forgiveness works. He seems to know this is this is the case because he says he's willing to burn in his own damnation. He just wants his parents to know he loves them. That's sweet. That's so sweet. And
That is
then,
nice. Yeah.
and then Kane and Paul Bearer come out, not in the graveyard, back at Raw. They come out. Paul Bearer says he is sick and tired of hearing Taker cry and whine about his dead mom and dad. He says Kane has the same powers as Taker. He asks Kane to demonstrate. So Kane sets Lightning down. Bearer looks at the commentators and Kane strikes lightning at them. Kane then kills the spotlight and starts lightning on it. Bearer again blames Taker for killing his parents and disfiguring Kane, and Kane strikes a lightning bolt on a crew member at ringside, and the crew member catches fire in a phenomenal spectacle. After that high, we come crashing down with DOA facing the New Midnight Express in a lumberjack match that ends in mayhem as we set up the just now discussed 15-team tag team battle royal at WrestleMania. Okay. Hour number 2 starts with DX. Triple H taunts Owen Hart and summarizes how he beat him last week, then he makes sexual innuendos. HBK and Triple H call out a very busty woman who is clearly trying to get in the ring. HBK calls out Vin Man and Stone Cold Steve Austin for their back and forth and tells Vin Man to leave his opinions at home. They then point out that the special enforcer of WrestleMania, Mike Tyson, is in cahoots with them. HBK says what will happen if Stone Cold gets in his way. And Mike Tyson says, I will knock him the out. He's about to say fuck, but he stops himself because this is a PG show. It's not, it's PG-14. Anyways, or TV-14. Anyways, Tyson.
Can you do that? Can you say that on a PG-14 show? We should look.
No, you can't. You can't. That's like a.
Well, because that's kind of like with like. Well, PG-13, you know, they got rules like you can say it like once.
Yes, you can.
In a PG-13 movie or something like that.
Yep.
Well, not on TV-14. I mean, that's one age older.
Yeah.
You could at least get 2 in, right? At 14. I don't know.
It's a tongue-in-cheek moment in the film Be Cool when John Travolta's like, they only let you say fuck one, or they only let you say the F word one time in PG-13. And he goes, are you really, are you like being honest? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. You know what I say to that? Fuck that. And that's the only time they say fuck in the movie. So it's PG-13 film. Anyways. Yeah.
It works.
Tyson is asked, will HBK still be champ after WrestleMania? And Tyson says, of course. Of course he will. We then get a recap of The Rock swinging for the fences last week and are told that Shamrock sustained a concussion, but will still be at WrestleMania. And the stipulation is that if The Rock is DQ'd, then Shamrock will still win the title. So The Rock is no longer allowed to do any of his shenanigans because if he gets DQ'd, he still loses the title. Farouk afterwards faces Chains, which is the match we've all been hoping for. The Rock comes down with a steel chair. He eventually swings at Farouk with the chair in a seeming accident, but it's not really an accident because at no point is he swinging at Chains. He just clocks Farouk. The Rock motions for the Nation to come out and help Farouk, and JR argues that this was on purpose, and I'm on JR's side. We see a vignette of the breakup between Barry Windham and Justin Hawk Bradshaw. This leads us to Windham versus Bradshaw in a basic brawl that sees Bradshaw win on the distraction from the Rock and Roll Express. Then the Midnight Express run in and attack Bradshaw, and the NWA stuff is bad. Moving on, Sable comes out with Mark Marrow, who says her success is because of him, but he wants her to enjoy her success this one time, and he will leave so she can enjoy it. Kevin Kelly has Vince Russo in the ring to have a special honor for the swimsuit Raw magazine edition that she and Sunny were in. Sunny is not available that night. Apparently she's sick or something like that. We will see Sunny again, and we won't like it. She thanks the fans when Luna and Goldust come out, and Luna wails on her with that same plaque she was presented and tears her dress. And good guy Russo covers up Sable with his jacket. I'm going to give him credit for that. That was a very good thing of him to do. Finally, we get the main event. It's The Rock versus Austin in a match that goes all around the ring. This is a very fun TV match that ends with a clean Stone Cold Stunner. He gets the win, then D'Lo runs in. He stunners D'Lo for good measure. DX comes out And HBK says he has turned out Austin's lights twice with some sweet chin music. And at WrestleMania, he will turn his lights out for the last time. And that is how we close the Go Home show on the road to WrestleMania. What'd you think, Scott?
I liked it. I think it's worth watching. I thought Undertaker could control the lightning. I don't understand how Kane can control the lightning now, but I liked it all the same.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought Kane was the fire Pokemon and Undertaker was the electric Pokemon. So I'm not really sure what's happening, but I will accept it because it was fun and ridiculous and everything we like. You're right. You know how I love Sergeant Slaughter, so I have to mention it. This is a change for the Sergeant Slaughter character. He's now, I think it works though, because Vince is taking a more hands-on approach, right?
Mhm.
Because Steve Austin cannot be champion. It would be a PR nightmare. He's too uncouth. He's too much of a bad boy. He's not going to allow it.
Right.
It's bad for the business. So he's getting more involved. And I mean, he is Sergeant Slaughter's boss, right? We've acknowledged now that Vince McMahon owns the company. So it makes sense. And I'm okay with it. Other than that, though, yeah, I think it's a good go home show. I think this sells buys for the pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited to
especially
talk about
if you're excited for Luna versus Sable.
And boy, aren't we. That's going to be an exciting match. Tune in. $2 a month, and you can hear us talk about WrestleMania 14, or as they also call it, WrestleMania D, lowercase d, X rated. But not like rated, rated, RAIDED.
Oh,
How about that?
look at that.
Yeah. Clever.
Very clever. Yeah.
And you can see how clever it is on the Patreon. But until next time, thank you for listening, and we'll see you.
Bye, guys.